All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're into the semis, the semifinals. Still best of one, but these teams have now won a few of their matches in order to get here. And wow, what teams have we got today? Cloud9 Maelstrom up against Evil Geniuses. Confirmed, we have Idra in the house. Idra, LZ Gamer, and ZPs. ZPs, he's playing for EG today in this cup. I don't know if that's a permanent thing or not, but he is here. And we will see what they're going to do. Draft is up, though, so without further ado, we're going to be jumping right on into that. Cloud9 Maelstrom are actually going to get second pick, so it is actually Flipperoonie today, all day. Remember, Tychus global ban, and this is the second time now we've actually seen a ban of Kerrigan up against Cloud9 Maelstrom. So somebody has been practicing their Kerrigan, because that is 2 games in a row now that she has actually been banned out against the big powerhouse team. And they are, of course, going to ban out their Stitches. So they don't want a first pick Evil Geniuses. You might be able to see in the background that sexy Sky Temple trailer. And that's good reason, because we're going to Sky Temple. Ooh, what a guest. Sky Temple will be the map. Stitches and Kerrigan with the global ban on Tychus. That's going to lead us into a Vala pick. She's a very popular first pick today because Tychus is already out. You need to secure yourself that range damage. She is basically the pick of the day. We've done now a few games, and I believe Vala's been 2 of the first picks. It was Tassadar for the other one, and look at that. Tassadar is going to be the first pick on the flip side for Cloud9 Maelstrom. So Tassadar and Arthas, very similar draft to what we just saw on the Haunted Mines up against Torpedo. A very nice front line. They, of course, had Stitches last round. We'll see if they are actually going to add a Mirrodin, a Chen. Who else is out there? Anuba Rack? Probably not. Chen? Probably not. That leaves us with Mirrodin. Sonya is not even worthy of consideration these days. Diablo? Maybe not. That we could actually see an ETC then. ETC is actually really good on this map because a lot of the time you're going to be focused on those points. You can just slide on in there with a mosh pit. And he has some pretty good, survivability, some pretty good mobility in terms of he has the 20% mobility aura that you can get at level 13 with Uber Rockstar. So curious to see who the tanks are actually going to be coming out. But of course, I should have recognized that one. The Bash brother, if you guys weren't listening to me in QKI yesterday, the Arthas Tyrael combo, we call them the Bash brothers, but both of them are going to be split up today. Sibling rivalry. And it's going to be a Nazebo on the back of that here for Evil Geniuses. So Tychus in the front, we got Vala and Nazebo there in the back. Can Nazebo solo a point? That's I'm curious to see if that can actually be a thing. I know Vala can, especially if she goes into vamp attacks at level 4. But something tells me she's just going to go into the normal multi-shot build. Yeah. So we got the flip side. What do we got? We already have our Bruiser. We have our Arthas. We might not even get an Assassin. We didn't last time. It's very possible we might not this time here for Cloud9 because already 2 of them are down. If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be a Falstad. Might be a Brightwing there for the mobility, and it will actually be a Brightwing. So they're going to pick up at least one of the mobile combi. Yeah, they're going to go for both. Brightwing and Falstad is going to be the picks there for Maelstrom. So they do got the mobility factor. This could be our biggest map to date in Heroes of the Storm. So having a lot of mobility factor is a great thing to have. We still need 2 more picks here from Evil Geniuses. They need a healer. It's likely to be an Uther. They don't have Nick on their team. In fact, I'm not entirely too sure who's going to be playing support on this one. It might be Kawhi Rice, might be LZ Gamer. Might be ZPs. I don't know. None of them really stick out to me. Isra and Faye, I mean, nobody there I know of actually plays the support, but they need one. So likely to be the Uther, might be the Malfurion. Mad Furion didn't actually work out. Not entirely too sure I've seen a Malfurion win in a little bit, but he has actually been picked out a few more times as of late. The new patch is just kind of throwing things around a little bit, shaking up the tier lists. And that would leave us with, I want to say, another kind of tank, Mirrodin for the stuns, for the controls. They don't have any kind of channeling that they need to deal with on top of Cloud9 Maelstrom. As I said, ETC is also a fantastic frontline choice, and he can actually augment a lot of the healing that's needed. So if they get a Malfurion or they get an Uther, they go into the Battle Cow as well. It's a very durable kind of comp. I don't foresee any kind of Abathur play, he's just not there with it anymore with the top meta. He did get changed significantly in the last patch. And even though he can do still some really crazy things, losing out the ults on his clone or going for a monstrosity, neither pick has really has that game-changing scenarios anymore. So it will actually be a Thrall. Curious, who's going to be playing Thrall on Evil Geniuses? They have to now go for a support. Rhaegar is a fantastic Thrall support choice, but then you're going to be looking at him. And they're actually going to throw me a loop. They are throwing me a loop with that last pick. A Lily is now entering the scene here. The cups are good. We have no stuns. Well, we got a polymorph, actually. The gust of wind, I don't think will actually stop out the jug of 1,000 cups. But the polymorph, I think, will. So you're going to have to be very careful about that. Zeratul is going to be the last pickup here, though, for Cloud9. So a little bit more control going under their belt. Melee DPS on both sides as ZPs apparently leaves out the lobby. So we're not going to get into the game quite yet. But, oh, he's back, so it's all good. So there you go. Those are your drafts. For Sky Temple, who would I actually give a little bit more of an edge to? Well, it's got to be Cloud9 again because of that double mobility factor. This is a massive map, but everybody here actually does have mounts, except, of course, Brightwing. But, you know, we got the Fly ready to go for Falstad, and we got the Phase Shift there for the Brightwing. It's not like Sergeant Hammer, and she can't really move at all. It's not like Rhaegar, who goes into the Ghost Wolf. And is there anybody else there with special mounts? No. Okay, so we don't have any of them. So we do got a bit more of a mobility edge there for Cloud9. But Evil Geniuses, I'm curious to see how this Lily will turn out. I'm curious to see their lane distribution. Is it going to be a Thrall solo? Will it be a Tyrael solo? Are we going to have roaming comps? You know, the Thrall roaming with Tyrael, the Thrall roaming with Vala? Very likely not. Nazebo likely also not to roam. He needs to be stacking his stacks in his lane. We also curious to see how many bribes we're going to get. Falstad, I think they're waiting for me to actually ready up. Yeah, they were just waiting for me. Oh, train is so nice. Some teams don't even bother anymore; they just go. But all right, so yeah, Falstad has been seen a lot with Power Throw as of late. The extra range, 40% extra range on the hammer, 20%, 25% extra more slow, and that of course robs him of bribe. But that way we also have Brightwing. Oh, Lily is likely to get bribe. I'd be actually very curious to see if she does grab the bribe on this map. She is one of the only supports left now that Brightwing and Falstad doesn't even get them anymore. Lily could actually be the bribe here for EG. That would be very interesting, I think, to see if that is going to be the case. Sky Temple loading in here, guys. FourCourtJester into your semifinals now with Cloud9 and Evil Geniuses. Thank you so much for all the follows today. Thank you so much for joining us today as well. I know usually we have a partner here with me, but apparently the solo is doing all right. Solution, Blizzard must give forecourt beta keys. Well, yes, I would totally be down for that, but it is out of my purview. Flippic, thank you for this support, though. Either way, left-hand side, we have ourselves Cloud9, Biceps, Zuna, Dunk Train, King Caffeine, and the Kenma once more. Putting the Brightwing into the bottom lane, of course, because we do have the top and middle shrines to be spawned first. Flip side, Faye, Idra, Kawhi Rice, LZ Gamer, and ZPs. ZPs, again, a little bit more of an oddball pick because usually I see him in Glorious, but I have heard some rumblings that some roster swaps have been going down. So Mad Timmy, obviously, not with Symbio because he was with Torpedo today. ZP's now with EG. So we'll see how that all goes. Some creep blocking going back and forth, just trying to keep this creep wave back as much as they can. The old familiar faces of Idra and Faye. Met them both at BlizzCon. They're fun guys to hang around with. Although Faye is actually a girl, so I can't say guys. So, say Lovie. Either way, a little bit more of a distribution. Falstad actually top, not mid or bottom, because of course, we do got the Brightwing down there. But Brightwing and Tyrael, they do leave LZ Gamer to his own devices here in the mid with Dunk Train and Biceps into the top. But here comes the collapse. Oh, that orb! LZ Gamer's like, where is that orb going? Yeah, it went to Zuna and it went to King Caffeine. They got the Watchtower and they're trying their best for a gankaroo. So a Zeratul, Arthas, a gank lane. Dot, not too sure they'd actually kill ZPs out of it. It would have to be a very well-timed polymorph for a cleanup. but they might actually be able to get LZ Gamer if he's able to push out a little bit. He's a little bit too close to his towers. No roaming going on here from Evil Geniuses. It looks like they are going to be setting up for a 3-stack on the top. ZPs, as I said, Polymorph got to be well timed because that sword is ready to go. He's just going to be able to fountain out. And here comes the temple. 7 seconds and counting. Everybody's now going to be rushing to the mid because the mid temple is the one that gets you actually more experience, believe it or not. You're just going to get a few shots off here from the top. I don't think Biceps is really going to go for that, but there should be this big collapse top of the middle one. And you might ask, why the middle one? Why not the top? Why not? Why not? And this top one will actually clear out the gates and the well. The middle one will clear out the gates and the tower. Towers are with experience, wells aren't. So right now it is going to be a red into the top, and it looks like the big guy is actually dead middle. And we've done the damage. We're now going to go contest. So Cloud9 actually deciding not to just trade them out. We will actually try to contest this one. Blue is now very prevalent here into the top. And LZ Gamer, he's actually going to move into the mid here. So blue and red basically just swap them out back and forth. But of course, the money shot here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is something of a big contestation point here. So LZ, he's going to get collapsed upon here, but both of the money shots are actually going to go the way of red. I believe, yeah, right now we're actually going to be contesting it, so nobody's claimed it quite yet. LZ is just ticking down. He is going to eventually fall, and it will be red to take it back, so they get themselves that money shot and some damage going off from both sides. So 1 kill null as the Green Jesus will return. There he is. He's now back into the game. Level 5 abound from both sides as well. ZP's was bottom lane this entire time. He didn't leave. He didn't come up. He soaked. So that's even with the 4v5 advantage, because there was 5 team members at Cloud9 that came up. Even with that, we still traded out almost equally there with those shrines, with the temples. That's actually a detriment then to the early game here of Cloud9, because they traded out equally, but they had the split soak going on this with ZPs. So that's why you see experience not really as different as you might expect. So ZPs soaked like 3, maybe 4 creep waves at most. And because, everyone was just kind of floating around, they went up to the mid, they went up to the middle, the top to the mid, and back and forth, and they got a kill. It's basically why we don't see a big difference here in the experience. As well, like, almost no towers went down. We had 1 tower go down, I think, from each side. The whole gate actually got topped as well. So, yeah, a little interesting how the first split actually ended up. A lot of good stuff from both sides. Keeping up the experience, not losing out too many other kills, and some of those towers going down. Zuna has to blink out. He's going to be in some trouble. We had the bruisers already coming out through the top. It cleared up the rest of these gates, put some damage here onto the pool. Yeah, there goes the fountain. So it's going to drop as well. Level 7 talents, Gusty Hewing seems to actually be taking more and more over its counterpart. And no mules. Well, that's right. We do have 1 mule. Zeeble Mule again. Now, I've seen so many games with no mules, it's kind of a little bit weird now to see mules coming back in. But multi-shot Vala does look like a pretty typical Zeeble build so far. Who are pushing stuff? Top lane is pushing with bruisers. This is a better timing for the bruisers because we got this bottom now up. But King Caffeine as Arthas, level 7 with the rune chef, he can just solo that out. So Zuna's going to get some damage there. I think we're just going to trade this out. And LZ Gamer is going to come in. Stone Wolves? Where's that? Nope, Crossbow Grid. I don't know. That was weird. Maybe that's a Kenma only option because his wolves shouldn't do that. Either way, Rolling Thunder and Envenom, it's not going to be that first tier talent for the Wind Fury. It's actually going to be the Rolling Thunder. So returns mana and increases range. It's just basically a big poke at this point. And absolutely no contest on this bottom lane. Bottom is going to literally just get traded out to the top. Red is now going to be coming down here, but there goes the money shot. We saw it hit the mid. We do got the mule now working. They don't target mules. The mules is actually not a bad choice on this map because they can actually repair quite a bit from the very beginning of the laser shots to the very end. Might even save out a fort or a keep or a talent, stuff like that. Level 10 from both sides. The Auto Momentum, Retribution coming out there for the Tyrael. Been seeing that a lot. The good stuff, extra healing there for the Lily. Remember, there's a Lily in this game. It's pretty fantastic. Healing wards on both sides. Yep, the Tassadar healing ward, the Lily healing ward, and the Tassadar with the static charge again, likely to be Prescience and Dimensional Warp on top of that as well. Dunk Train does get caught a little bit with those Feral Wolves. LZ is now trying to chase down Biceps, but it's going to be the Judgment on top of the Tassadar. He's already used out the Dimensional Shift, and that will be a point on the board here for EG as they take the mid and get the kill. And that was Earthquake. Earthquake, yeah, from the Thrall, who apparently doesn't have a cooldown hooked up to the UI. So, okay. That actually makes a lot of sense, because in previous games with Thrall, I'm like, why is his ult up? Why is his ult always up? It's always up. Yeah, it's actually not, but the hookup doesn't actually know that. So, I have to tell Ali about that one. Yeah. Thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. We should have some temples to be spawning fairly soon. Other than that, Strafe, Ravenous Spirit, Earthquake, the Judgment, Jug of 1,000 Cups. We all expected that. It's no troll water dragons today. And Archon, which we saw, Hinterland Blast, Blink Heal. Not Emerald Wind, okay. Blink Heal, though, needs that extra little pump. And Army of the Dead and the Void Prison. So everything else very kind of even. 13 to 12, we do got that talent advantage now here for Cloud9. EG has to try to contest this bottom shrine by themselves. It looks like top will actually be spawning out as well. And I think Cloud9 is okay with just going back and forth with them. But as I say that, they all decide, nope, we're going to come through mid, into bottom, soak a little bit there on the mid experience. LZ Gamer should, well, maybe he can't actually solo this quite yet. Level 16 with Wind Fury, he could, but so far, it really depends on what that 13 talent is. We still have this small window of opportunity where we don't have 13 talents for EG. King Caffeine and crew, they're coming in 4-man Void Prison. Faye in the back, just not really too sure what to do. Gets hit by the Hinterland Blast anyways. The Earthquake immediately coming out. They're trying to take down the Lily as quick as they can. Faye is getting heals and heals and heals. That Jug doing really good stuff, but I think Dunk Train in the back there with the help of Zuna, able to take on 1 and 2. They're looking for the hat trick. They got the Ghost. Tyrio's about to blow up. Takes out King Caffeine. LZ Gamer, I have no idea where you were or why you're full health, but it looks like he actually took out the Falstead, but he's going to get body blocked. And that is going to be a wrap, a 5-man team wipe for Cloud9 Maelstrom as they're going to take out this bottom. And had they had a false stat, they could have flown immediately top and already started out that one. But it looks like Zeratul on his magic carpet is going to be the one heading up there. And both shrines into the Cloud9 pocket is probably going to put them at very close to the 16 mark, which will be, again, another talent tier advantage. Flip side, let's look at the talents. We did get the 13 in the midst of that for Evil Geniuses, Frost Shot, Rewind, Grace of Air, so it'll probably be the Wind Fury talent here as well. Cast Aside, very likely choice because Smite going on, and Shrink Ray. Shrink Ray, who will they shrink? Could be the Zeratul, could be the Falstead, could be the Archon. There's a lot of viable options here for shrinkage, but either way, Evil Geniuses, they've all now respawned. They're up here 5-man strong. Brightwing, nowhere to be found, so they do have that man advantage. King Caffeine still sitting on this point. They're looking for the money shot. Here comes the Jugs again. The Earthquake again, but it's not really doing the big damage here on top of King Caffeine. That will stop out the Jugs because Kawhi Rice is now stuck in that Void Prison. Thrall is going to be the one focused down. King Caffeine has healed back up. We got Brightwing up here as well. The Blink Heal's doing work. Kawhi Rice, he's going to drop as well. That's 2-4-0, and there goes Hydra as well for the 3. Nazeebo actually going to drop on the screen as well. And are they greedy enough to pick up the ZP's kill as well? Because this is just not going good for Evil Geniuses. Everything's going from bad to worse with these team fights. It's now 16 to 14 advantage. And yeah, there's the double for the Tassadar. Good luck ever killing him again. Overdrive for the Hinterland Blast and everything else there for the Volstad. Critterized, Stone Skin, double bombs. Very standard stuff. Very good flag in that Cloud9. And, they go straight for the boss. There's nobody here to contest. They obviously know that they know. Evil Geniuses knows, and Cloud9 knows that Evil Geniuses knows. It doesn't matter. They're not there in time. And here comes the boss with that serpent head of his. It looks so out of place. I don't know. Like, I expected kind of a beetle, but it's more of a serpent. There's unfortunately no other kind of big objectives on the map, though, right now. So this boss pressure is just going to lead us into taking out giants. I think I saw a bribe stack right there. Ken, Kenma does, yeah, he did use up one of his vibe stacks, and they're going to push out with the boss. Will this be a keep? I have doubts. I have doubts it could be a keep. But with that extra talent tier advantage, I mean, Cloud9 could easily just go into this, and, well, they're gonna. Brawl is down. I don't even think he needs to go on that one. Kawhi Rice gets hit by the Hinterland Blast. Had a zombie wall ready to go there as well. Strafe into the back, but it's only going to land on top of King Caffeine, which is not who you want it to burst down. Keep is going to drop, and this actually might be a game-ending push on the back of it as well. VP coming in. They're looking for the positioning. Idra is toast. ZP has to use the sword to get out of that. Eldrune is a very useful tool in that regard, and that is very likely it with a 12-minute win. Cloud9 Maelstrom absolutely on fire. Here's the talents for you guys. And again, you know, the draft just worked out much better for them in the long run. They finally put Zeratul down. We got the mule working away on the core, but really too little too late right there. And will be that. Blue team wins yet again. Cloud9 Maelstrom goes to the finals. And some very strong drafting maneuvers coming out from them. And yeah. Sky Temple, man, a bit of a newer map, but they seem to have its number. They contested shrines, they took a lot of team fights, and in the long run, 14 takedowns to 3. Arthas didn't die, Brightwing didn't die. They killed Zuna at the end, it doesn't really count, but yeah, man, it's powerful stuff. There's a reason these guys are monstrous in Heroes of the Storm. They are one of the teams to beat. Vortex right now cannot even play in the monthlies because they qualified for the last monthlies. It means there's no point in qualifying twice. This isn't League of Legends where you can have multiple things in Challenger where there's limited spots. You have to have unique entries. So Vortex is not playing for that reason. And Maelstrom, they actually didn't check into the monthly finals, if I recall, which is why, you know, they're probably not there. That's why they are here tearing it up in these weeklies. So weekly number 8 semifinals done and dusted. We will say goodbye to Evil Geniuses. We will say hello to our first finalists in terms of Cloud9 Maelstrom. And who will their opponents be in the finals, which will be a best of 3? It's going to be the winner of Glorious and ESV Wildfire, which is still yet to be determined. So when we come back, guys, Cloud9 versus the winner here. Game 1 of the best of 3 finals. Go4Heroes Americas Cup number 8.